welcome back to the channel. This is Rob here at Smirking Gun Reviews. So, for anybody that sees this, I don't know when I'm going to upload this. It's Friday, July 12th. I'm kind of stepped away from my channel for a minute because I've been trying to do too much. I've been expecting too much. I've been forcing too much. I've had to question, why am I doing this? There's just been some things that I just have not been happy with. I got the new equipment, and it's a learning process, and I'm very hard on myself, and I'm very sensitive, and so a lot of things just have kind of been building up to this inevitable me needing to take a break. I tried to do a live stream on that, and my live stream capabilities, even though I can do them on YouTube now, my fucking camera is so bad that I haven't properly adjusted it. And so my live stream I did on another channel last week, just my end just looked terrible, and while I had a blast doing the live stream, I didn't know how bad it was going to actually turn out to look on my end, and I just was kind of mortified. On top of that, the next day I decided for some reason to binge and review all of Stranger Things Season 3, thinking I could get a jump on everybody, realizing after the fact that what was I doing that for? Like, why didn't I just watch it like normal? But see, I was going to watch them all in a row, and I was like, well, if I watch them all in a row, I might as well review them all in a row. That way, I mean, that's what I told myself anyway, I could have watched it and reviewed one and then like maybe hours later did another one, but I didn't do that, and I realized I was chasing views, I was chasing subs, I was trying to force my channel to be bigger than it needs to be right now with how much I do and everything. So I hit a wall really bad. I've been dealing with a lot of stuff, and it just kind of, between work and this and my personal life and other things, I needed to do what this dog is doing. But during that time, it's like, what do I watch? Because I want to watch and review everything that I picked to watch. I'm like, well, I'd watch that, but then I'd need to review it. So I found this show that we're going to talk about. But, just what do I do, though? Like, while I'm on this sabbatical, how do I get myself, back to the way I wanted to be? Because I was so fucking like stressed out that it was pretty much, I was ready to just fucking like, at my job, here, to anybody who left like a negative comment or whatever, I was just so about to just snap like this.
Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, you're cool, and fuck you, I'm out.
So I didn't want to get to that pitch, you know what I mean? I was so, the other day, wow, I mean, I was at work. I'm already not making videos, and at this point I was just, I don't know when I'm coming back, because I was just the other day so stressed out that I was just like that. I was so ready to just flip out. And, I decided, like, what do I do? How do I vent? Do I play a bunch of video games? Do I just catch up on some, like, watch some old shows or something? Just get out, go see more movies? I don't know. I didn't know what to do, because if I'm not at work, I want to be making content, but it's like, if my head's not in the right place and I can't make videos the way I want to, I would, what else do I do? I mean, because there's definitely options during the summer times, so I thought, well, maybe I can do this. Alright, so yeah, I didn't, to everybody who loves kids, I apologize. There's a lot of them running around right now, and I just, people that know me would probably think, yeah, that's something that Rob might do, but I really wouldn't. Not unless I, came upon a roving band of kids who needed their asses kicked. But instead, what I did was there's an app on my PlayStation called Epix. It's been around for a while, right? It was mostly on computers and things like that, where you could get some, big movies like Transformers fucking 3 or 4 or whenever, would come out, and then Epix would get their hands on it, and you could watch it with like their subscription service is really weird, and their app, the PlayStation app for Epix is a fucking, it's not finished. You can't, the controls and everything are just really wrong. But there's a little show on Amazon Prime called Patriot that pardon me, really, 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 really like. And I've tried reviewing it. It's very hard to review, but it's one of the best written shows I've ever seen. And I need to go back and finish it because I really do love it. But at the time, so much. But that's not what we're here to talk about. But the people behind it, okay, nobody watches Patriot. I'm just going to say it. Like, there's really, if you watch Patriot, you're a fucking hardcore person, man, or you just really happen to find something that nobody else knows about. It is one of those shows that right now nobody still knows about. Nobody. Well, nobody watched it on Amazon. Nobody's watching it. It had one season. I thought we wouldn't get a second. We finally got a second. I don't know if we're getting a third. But it's made by these really, really great, clever people. And acted, like some of the acting in this has some of my favorite actors, like Kurtwood Smith and Terry Quinn. And it's very surreal. It's very existential. But it's fantastic and really well written. And I did not know that on Epix, a channel, an app, a streaming service that really, I don't know how many people use, but nobody ever talks about Epix, okay? Nobody. But on their channel, they've got a show called Perpetual Grace Limited. I like Ben Kingsley. I like Jimmy Simpson. And Jackie Weaver is a pretty strong actress. I'm not going to pretend that I know everything about her. But I started doing a little digging on the show. I saw the trailer, and it looked interesting, because it's like a film noir, neo-noir kind of style. Made me think of Red Rock West, and God help me, the almost remake of that, U-Turn by Oliver Stone. It just had that kind of feel. People, doing underhanded, shady, conny things to each other, which is different. Well, I mean, I didn't know at the time, for the people that made Patriot. I found out that it was made by the people who did Patriot. It's like Steve Conrad, who is a writer for the show. He, because I want to be really thorough on this. Yeah, he's like a writer and director. He wrote for Patriot. You've got Bruce Terrace, who also, I believe, was writing on Patriot. Pretty much this video is for people who love Patriot. He was a second unit director. So they were pulling, what I'm saying is they were pulling people from like all different sides of Patriot, not just the writing and directing. Because like there's a guy named, I think it's Stephen Hoey. He was a producer on Patriot. And then there's one more name here that I want to get, and that's Jim Whitaker. He was the, damn it. It said what he was for Patriot for a second there. But he's like a cinematographer, basically, and he does camera and electric work. He did work on like Captain America Civil War. He's a cinematographer on a bunch of movies. And these guys are all like the writers, directors. They're all pooling their knowledge and making their own show. And I thought, okay, fucking I'm in. I'm in at least to see what's what. Because I also found out like Terry OQuinn's in this. Kurtwood Smith is in this. They're bringing people from Patriot in here. They've got the girl from that was in Patriot. God, it's gonna kill me to not to remember her name. She's an Asian actress. She was on like Arrow. I should stop getting rid of my little tablet that has all my help on here. Great, I can't find them all. But like, there's not just them, but there's a Dana De Lorenzo that's in this. She was on Ash versus Evil Dead. Um, there's a few people that I haven't like really caught up on to. There's a guy named Damon Harriman who plays Paul Allen Brown. Ben Kingsley plays Ma. Jackie Weaver plays Ma. Um, Louise Guzman is in this. I love me some Louise Guzman. God, I don't... All the way back to like Carlito's Way, I want to say, is when I first was introduced to her. To him. Sorry, Louise. Holy shit. But anyway, I mean, I could go on, and I probably will if I continue to do this show. But it's got a great cast. It's got a great pedigree. The only problem is it's on Epix. And it has new episodes coming out like every Sunday, like it's an event, like they're creating event television on a platform that isn't, I would say, taking off yet. But I decided to jump in. And so what I'm going to do now is play you the trailer for Perpetual Grace Limited so that you guys can get a understanding of the show that I'm talking about, what you're going to watch. If you love Patriot, though, okay, this is going to be up your alley because it's got the same kind of writing style. It's definitely surreal. You don't always know what the hell is going on. In fact, there are certain scenes in here that you are like, what is going on? You know, a lot of this stuff, it can be taken kind of literally. Some of it can take like metaphorically. Some things are in the characters' heads, but they don't really show that. They don't hold your hand too much. So I'll show this this clip. It's about 3 minutes long, so if you can't make it all the way through and you fast forward, you got it, the point or whatever. You don't want anything more spoiled in the trailer that you'll see on the show. We'll do that right now, and then we'll be back to talk about episode 1, which is called 11.
$4 million. We should take that money.
It'll be easy. We're just a couple old people.
Oh, yeah, and you'd have to get hooked on methadone.
For real?
My parents can tell.
After I count down 3 rounds in hell, I'll be in good company.
We have a church where we treat men and women troubled, such as you.
You're gonna be okay.
I see my redhead mustang, tear shed, queen bee must squeeze.
It's a new day, boy.
They stole all that money. This church, they're supposed to help people, but they use it to rip people off.
I'm getting it back. Make things right.
Let's stay the plan.
They left last night. They're on their way.
Come with me.
It's not like we're hurting them. We just get them out of the picture for a little while.
And I'll be in good company.
I am going to kill you, motherfucker. I am the pale horse of death, and hell follows me, boy. Prepare for the devil. I shall deliver you unto his fucking kingdom come.
The guy who's supposed to be dead is running around.
He just killed a 24-year-old kid with his shoe. Don't worry. I got a plan.
So you're saying you want me to go to Mexico and do something important? Cool. Let's do it.
I shot the sheriff and I slipped the noose.
$26,000 back, or I'm gonna get you.
The law ain't never been a friend of mine.
I've been looking for you for a long time now.
I'm a wanted man.
As a person of interest in the murder, you are obligated to an accounting of your whereabouts.
You understand? I'm a wanted man.
I am my own god.
Thank you for this loving gift.
This is getting out of control.
My husband is a very powerful man, capable of kneeling and rising again.
Get down here and get the fucking crazy old man.
Where you going, boys?
I'm a wanted man. Do you understand? I'm a wanted man.
Get it. Get the rhythm. Get the rhythm. There you go. There you fucking go. Get the rhythm. Get the rhythm. There you go. There you fucking go. Get the rhythm. Get the rhythm. There you go. There you fucking go. Get the rhythm. Get the rhythm. You feeling strong enough?
Strong enough for what?
All right, so hopefully you guys have an understanding of what I'm talking about. I've even just pulled up the app because I don't really feel like doing tons and tons more like little edits and stuff. But I like that this opens up with a line from Alfred Hitchcock, which a lot of these, the Patriot does have like quotes and things. Reminds me of the Immortal Hulk right now. Anyway, don't get off track. So Alfred Hitchcock, the line is, "There is nothing to winning really. That is, if you happen to be blessed with a keen eye, an agile mind, and no scruples whatsoever." I think that's a great way of setting up what's going to happen on this show, because I've only watched the first episode, and already I can tell that just about everybody is got something going on to different varying degrees. There are secret plans. Everybody's got my own secret plans. That line gets used quite often during the course of this episode, where we're introduced to Jimmy Simpson, who is a firefighter who basically he left his post in the middle of a fire, and a man with 11 kids died. And so he ends up like basically here he's screwed himself over. They don't exactly say why he did what he did yet, but that in the fire he took off his gloves, he dropped a hose, somebody else picked it up, and this guy died. And we cut to him getting dropped off in the middle of nowhere, looking very disheveled, and by the trailer you kind of know like this is a con job that he's pulling, that he's supposed to meet Ma and Pa, Ben Kingsley and Jackie Weaver's character on the road. They run a mission of sorts that helps people that are going through problems. They have a church, and supposedly it's crooked, and they've got like all this money that they've been taking from people that they've supposedly helped, and their son wants him to take his identity, have his parents arrested in Mexico, pronounced dead, steal his identity, and then take the money that they've been stealing from everybody else. And it's supposed to be no problem. He just kind of like Nicolas Cage showing up in Red Rock West, where he just kind of thrown into this thing where he commits to helping, you know, although Nicolas Cage is more of a criminal already in this, Jimmy Simpson's character is more of a damaged person who I'm not quite sure why he's going along with this, except that the money that he could get from it would probably help the family of the firefighter who died. You know, it would probably help them out a lot if he got this money. But from then on, it's kind of like, you know, like by the son's admission that he's like, oh, well, they're just a couple of old people. But I mean, they're old people that have been running a church in the middle of nowhere with $4 million. They're not just a couple of old people. Anybody should know that. How do you steal $4 million from people without being kind of smart? Or at least in this certain area. So you don't trust that this is going to go well. Anybody that says, oh, it's just going to be easy, a walk in the park, you know it's not going to be that way. And at least the show's kind of smart, you know, like, again, doesn't hold your hand, allows you to go, well, I know that that's not how things are going to go. And so everything kind of plays out the way it's supposed to play out. They pick him up, they take him in. You know, if you're paying attention, you know, Ben Kingsley looks like a predator. Okay? Everything that Jimmy Simpson is saying, it's like, he's not just, you could say that he's the face of a pastor who's got the look of concern and somebody who wants to help. But you can also say, if he's got $4 million, that look could also mean, I am figuring you out while you're trying to figure me out. So I feel like this is the kind of story where we've got a bunch of, some people that are trying to stop the, you know, like there's a Terry OQuinn's character who plays like a Texas Ranger. He shows up later in the episode. One second. Alright, maybe I shouldn't have bothered, but I was really determined to get the main titles in here because, like on Patriot has some of the most unique title cards that they've ever done, and I really love this one as well. In fact, at first I didn't get it because I was like, oh, Perpetual Grace Limited, like on the side of the thing, and then it said 11. I'm like, wait, is the show called Perpetual Grace Limited 11? No, 11's the episode title. And when you watch this whole title sequence, which is pretty crazy because it's an astronaut floating in space, like kind of not in a good way either. And that image is brought up again with Jimmy Simpson's character. And so, but I had to put it in here because they're always so great. And again, as you see it play out with through the mask of a man in space, and then they go to this, it's really great. So as far as things going, everything, like I said, goes without a hitch so far. But then, so he gets the parents locked up. He goes through all the motions. He even, like, you start to see a little bit more of this character. Like, he's taken in by them. And Ma, he steals one of her necklaces. Now, nothing about him says that he's a thief, but he has become kind of like a methadone addict as part of his cover, because they know that their son that they haven't seen in like years and years and years and years and years. Kind of a Sneaky Pete situation here going on. But they knew that he was all into drugs, and so if they were to find him, if he were to come back, it would probably be, you know, they need to find somebody that they could take care of. But later, they need somebody that, since nobody has seen Pete, can take his place. Well, he eventually convinces them to go, that their son is in Mexico. But previously, he steals this necklace, he takes it to a pawn shop, where we meet this poor kid who's like, his dad is always off somewhere else, leaves the kid, he's not in school, doesn't buy him clothes, he has to wear stuff he finds in the store. It's really sad, and he gets the money for the necklace that he stole, but he feels so bad about it that he finds out that the father's supposed to be back in 10 minutes. So he goes, oh, well, I'll come back in 10 minutes. I'm going to rob the place and get the necklace back. But what he doesn't know is how much of a negligent father this guy is. So when he comes back with a, you know, pantyhose over his face, which, I mean, I guess the kid's playing along, or he really is really dumb, that it's not the same guy that was just here. But it's now he realizes he's already committed to robbing the place. The dad's not there because, of course not. And so now he has to decide if he goes through with this plan or if he just bails. But I didn't know how it was going to play out. I honestly didn't, because it's like he's got a metal pipe. It means he has to reconcile the fact that he's going to bash some kid's head and hopefully not kill him. All to get the necklace back because he feels bad for stealing it. So it kind of goes into his character a little bit, but not that much. I mean, he's willing to take it. He's willing to hit a kid on the head to cover his tracks, because he really kind of has to get it back. And so that scene is very awkward because you just don't know how it's going to end. Even after the fact, he knocks the kid out eventually. You just don't know if he killed him. And so he returns the necklace, but then you see Jackie Weaver, the Ma character, she comes into the room. He just puts it there. He doesn't really do a good job of covering his tracks. But she looks at it kind of like, yep, he tried to steal it. It's back now. Blah, blah, blah. Now, Pa, played by Ben Kingsley, is a whole other beast altogether, because she's weird, okay? She's kind of like The Visit, the Shyamalan thing, like the grandma from that. She's off. She's a little off. There's something in those eyes. Ben Kingsley, though, like I said, he looks like a predator. He looks more like a lizard. He's got a reptile brain. You can just see it. I'm a pastor. My ass you are. So, everything that's going on with him, you just don't, you don't trust it. You just don't buy it. So, even though the character is supposed to just be fine with it, I'm not. So my anxiety started going up, and I'm like, shit, will I even be able to get through this episode? But you just kind of got to go with it. So he eventually, whether they are in on it or not, like, it feels like part of me says that I don't think they are, but you just never know when they're going to pull something on you. And like, so, aha, I knew it all the time. There's this little piece of evidence that you should have seen a mile away, but you didn't. Well, they go down to Mexico, to get their son out of this jail run by Louis Guzman, who in and of himself, he's running this prison where the inmates outnumber the guards. Of course, that's the story and everything. I mean, you couldn't have that. It's just basic facts that there's always going to be more guards than inmates. But it's like a fucking farm. You know what I mean? Like, it's people just out exposed to the elements, and it's really awful. It's really awful because they're basically in animal cages, animal pens. And you find out he doesn't really want to do it. He's kind of like, oh, you know, this is kind of wrong, you know. But then we see his life from his perspective and how he wants his kids to be enjoying life, and he wants his wife to be whatever, because she's putting like a concealer or whatever she's putting on like all over herself, which is really weird. And his kids are just your typical addicted to screens, don't want to do anything. And he doesn't like his wife, and you find out that he has been having like a fling or of sorts with the girl from Ash vs. the Evil Dead, who is the girlfriend of the real Paul Brown, who is in on this whole scheme to take the money. So they've been running a scam on him. So she was planted to get close to him, to get him to be able to do what they want when the time comes. But he thinks that if once they get the money, he and her can leave. He can leave his family, and they can start off their own secret plans. Just like Paul Brown, the real one, has his own secret plans for the money. And how Jimmy Simpson has something to do with the money, where he would help the family out. And then you've got the Browns, who themselves just probably want to keep the money themselves. And then Terry OQuinn shows up as a Texas Ranger who wants to talk, because Paul is a person, the real Paul, is a person of interest in the death of a young girl. Something that Jimmy Simpson did not know about in the time that they were learning. He was learning everything else about Paul that he could possibly need to play him. And first off, I just love Terry OQuinn. Okay, we'll just get to that. He's one of the main reasons why I started watching Patriot. I'll watch Terry OQuinn in just about everything. Anything, I should say. And so he doesn't get much to do here, but he's just so good. He's just standing there. I'm a Texas Ranger. I have some questions for you, son. How do you think I found you? Just plus, and speaking of which, how he finds him and stuff. All the really clever Patriot shit is all here. All the ways, like, let's get this out of the way too. How in Patriot there was the simple problem of A to B, where we all think, okay, here's where I am. This is where I need to be. You can tell that is a lot of the things that are going to happen here, including like jellyfish, you know, where you create you think you solve one problem and you've got two again. So I feel like, at least structure-wise, we're seeing kind of a similar way of telling the story as in Patriot, so that's cool. But now Jimmy Simpson is basically being detained by the Texas Rangers for questions about the death of a little girl. Meanwhile, Louis Guzman finds out that in the middle of the night, Pa Brown beat another inmate to death with a shoe. His scene of when they finally come to talk to him after he's been there overnight with his wife in a cell that was supposed to be just the weakest of the weak, because they don't want to hurt them. Okay, they don't want to hurt them. They're just there to be detained. But this other guy put these really dangerous people in there with him, and so one thing leads to another. They want the shoes of his wife. Well, he gets shoes. I mean, he doesn't get to wear them, but he gets some, like, against his head many, many times. And again, you get to see the true nature, at least the start of the true nature of Ben Kingsley's Pa character, because he's already calling himself the Angel of Death, or the Pale Horse, the horse from Apocalypse Times. So, I'm going to kill you, motherfucker. I am the Pale Horse of Death. Which Ben Kingsley, again, is brilliant. We haven't even really talked about him, because he's got this whole thing, right? He's got this whole system of the find the rhythm, find the rhythm. There you go. There you fucking go. And he just says it over and over and over again. It's creepy as fuck, because it's got to be something this guy's been living with, right? It's what he does. it's part of whatever, I don't know, but it really makes his character even creepier. We also find out that his true origin, so like I said, just some guy, right? Just some guy. They're just a couple of old people. Except he's been in trouble with the law since he was a little boy, where, like Jimmy Simpson called himself incorrigible, it's literally written on his first, like, mugshot, where Ben Kingsley's character says incorrigible. He's done everything from Grand Theft Auto to home invasion to murder, and this is who they're trying to steal from. Of course, Jimmy didn't know this. And like a lot of these stories where the film noir guy who's got a shady past that he's trying to run from and kind of trying to redeem himself for or whatnot, has definitely gotten more than he's bargained for. And so that's pretty much where we leave off. Sorry about that. There was some noise in the background. I didn't want it to overtake everything. But that's where we leave off, where, yes, Paz killed a guy. We know he's a really bad guy. Paul, we don't know where he is with his girlfriend. Jimmy Simpson's character is waiting to be questioned by Terry OQuinn's Texas Ranger. The poor kid who got knocked out is still working at the pawn shop, where he now has to lay down with a helmet on and still do the job because his dad's not around to do anything there as well. So anyway, it's pretty crazy. It's pretty fun. I'm really excited to watch it. I don't know when I'll be uploading this, but I did want to do something so that when I come back, I'll have some videos ready to go already that people can watch. And it's something that I wanted to talk about. I mean, I hope everybody appreciates that. We will be getting back to other videos if they're not already up. But this was something that I wanted to take more specific time out of my day to do. And so I hope that people that watch Patriot have something new to watch. You can get Epics for like a free trial basis. The first 7 episodes are up. There's 10, going to be 10 in total. So if you want to wait for it to be done, I'd wait another couple of weeks. And then you'll have it all. You could probably binge watch it and then get rid of Epics. Because I don't recommend keeping it, honestly, in the shape that it's in right now. And it's a shame that a show that I think starts out as good as this is on a channel or an app or a streaming service that really, I don't know anybody that uses it. So anyway, that's the first episode of Perpetual Grace Limited, episode 1. It's called 11. So hopefully you guys liked this video. If you did, please hit the like button, comment, share, subscribe. If you're not already a subscriber, please subscribe to the channel. Otherwise, this is Rapid Smirking Gun Reviews saying have a great day, and we will see you in the next video. Bye.